Morning, everybody. Great to have you here on a Monday morning. Before we kick off, I think it's important that we just talk for a minute about COVID, this new variant and how quickly it's spreading. So day before yesterday, we had 16,000 cases, and yesterday I see it's over 11,000 again. So please, guys, I know we've repeated this so many times in the past, but please make sure that you're wearing your masks, especially your staff, when they're out and about and meeting with clients. Make sure that they're wearing their masks and that they're washing their hands or sanitizing with an alcohol-based sanitizer. Don't touch your eyes, mouth, and nose with unwashed hands. Avoid contact with people who are sick. And if people are sick, then they should rather stay at home rather than coming to work. Cover your cough or your sneeze with your elbow or a tissue, and then throw away that tissue into a proper dustbin or down the loo or something like that. And clean and disinfect frequently used surfaces and objects. I think what's happened is we all got a little bit lax and we all got a bit relaxed about the whole thing, and now the numbers are jumping. So let's all just try and do our part to keep ourselves and our staff and the country safe while we go through this difficult period. So for today, really, I'm just going to be talking. This is the last Business 101 for the year, and really just looking back at the year and talking about what all has happened this year. It's been an incredibly tough year. I think in my lifetime, it's the toughest year that I've been through. The economy has taken a real beating. We've had riots and strikes. We've obviously had the coronavirus and coming back strong at the moment. We've had issues of political corruption and maladministration. We've had lockdowns. We've got highest unemployment that we've seen, I think, in 30 years or something like that. We've got load shedding. And in certain parts of the country, we've got some serious water issues. So it really, I think for everybody, has been an incredibly tough year. And from myself, I want to say to you guys, if you've made it through this year, then you're bloody tough. You know, as business people and as people, it's really been a hard year. So well done to all of you. It's really been a tough year. And I think to have made it through this year, you can give yourself a pat on the back because it's been incredibly hard. So just having a look at IOPSA during this year, we started off January in level 3 lockdown, and we didn't know what was going to happen. So it started off as a very uncertain time in January. But in January, we came to an agreement with Harambee, which is a youth empowerment organization, to train young plumbers. And we also made connection with the PPGI, which is the Public-Private Growth Initiative in the presidency. And that's an organization that tries to smooth out the issues within government and the private sector to just make things work a little bit better. In February, we made an agreement with Skills for Prosperity, which is a UK fund. And we secured some funding there to take about 100 people through ARPL, which is Artisan Recognition of Prior Learning. That's for those individuals who've been working in the industry for a long time, but for various reasons haven't been able to get themselves qualified, and to assist them with a bit of funding to get them properly qualified. And that's progressing quite well. We also signed an agreement with Nedbank to go into phase 3 of training with them. They're very happy with the training that we delivered in the past. And so there's another batch of young people that are going to become plumbers. And obviously, a lot of those young people are placed with IOPSA members. Then we introduced Claim Your Listing on the Find a Plumber website. That is going extremely well. And the last time I looked at the numbers, we were very close to 5,500 people every month looking for plumbers on that website. So it's really working very well for the members. In February, we conducted the water bylaw research. I think you've probably all heard a little bit about us talking about that and the challenges that exist within the municipalities. Less than 30% of our municipalities actually have water bylaws in place, and a lot of them don't have building control officers and water inspectors. So it's a challenging time. We also introduced the Privy Seal, and I think next year we'll be making more of the Privy Seal. But Privy Seal is basically a certificate for you guys that is not cannot be defrauded. It cannot be copied, and it cannot be somebody can't use it falsely. And we've actually seen this year a huge increase in people fraudulently using other people's certificates. We also signed a cooperation agreement with the Water Research Commission. And that's an important one because water is such a critical thing in a water scarce country like South Africa. In March, we went into level 1 lockdown, which was great. And that allowed us to start being a bit more free and to participate in a lot more activities. And then in March, we had quite a few World Plumbing Day events, which went extremely well. In April, we introduced the plumbing industry to non-sewer sanitation. These are basically toilets that are not connected to a sewer system. The waste is in some form or another treated on site. This is going to be a big trend in the coming years because of our water situation. It's really being pushed very hard, both by the Water Research Commission and the Department of Water and Sanitation. We also then got involved with an organization called sayouth.mobi, and this is they working very hard to try and deal with youth unemployment in South Africa. And there's some interesting things that we're working on with them, and just seeing if we can do our little bit in a small way to help with the unemployment situation in South Africa. In May, we started to participate in the Water and Sanitation Industrialization Master Plan. That has taken a lot of our effort during this year because it's such an important document that's being developed by the Department of Trade and Industry. And I think there's going to be some really good stuff coming out of that. It's basically at its completion point now, virtually. So hopefully we'll see something coming out of that. Our main focus there was to get, when we talk about water and sanitation in South Africa, very often government only focuses on the bulk stuff and the engineers, and they forget about the plumbers. And I think we really did a great job in terms of making sure that they recognize the role of the plumber and the importance of the plumber in water and sanitation in South Africa. And I think we're going to see some good stuff coming out of that. We also then started with a gender equity and social inclusion awareness campaign, and that has gone extremely well and continues to go along. We signed a service level agreement with Energy and Water SETA, who were keen to also get involved in ARPL, and we had an insurance forum session with all the various insurers in the country. Moving ahead to June, we were contacted by the Waterberg District Municipality. That encompasses 6 different municipalities, and they've got serious challenges with water in their area, and specifically with implementation of their bylaws. And they wanted our assistance, and we're working quite closely with them. Everything was put on sort of a pause because of the municipal elections, but I believe now that that will move forward. So anybody that's in the Waterberg area, have a look early next year. I think we'll be doing some roadshows together with the municipalities as to the implementation of a new appropriate water bylaws and assisting them in putting that into place. In June, we also participated with NBI in an ongoing program that's still continuing and probably will continue for a couple of years in terms of growing township economies and assisting emerging plumbers in the township areas with getting the right kind of skills and growing their little businesses and finding marketplaces within the townships. July, well, July was something that none of us expected. It was, some of us might have even forgotten about July, but July was an incredible month. The former president, Jacob Zuma, was arrested, and shortly thereafter, we had some serious riots in KZN and Gauteng, the likes of which we've never seen before. It was just bedlam, and nobody knew what was happening. If you remember, product couldn't travel from the ports to Gauteng and other parts of the country. 300 odd people were killed, and billions and billions and billions of rands worth of businesses were looted and lost and burned, and it was just chaos. IOPSA stepped up to the plate together with CEF, and we managed to put together some really great donations of foodstuffs, and we managed to find secure transport down to KZN, where the donations were distributed to those in need. We also offered plumbing assistance to those who were affected by riots, where people's toilets and facilities were damaged by rioters. We offered some assistance to those people in KZN. And then in July, we also got the Poppy Act came into play, which has caused a lot of concern for a lot of people. And we'll just have to see how that one plays out fully. And then we also entered into discussions with the Department of Employment and Labour on various topics, but I suppose the main one is recognition of IOPSA as an employer body recognized by the Department of Labour, which opens a lot of doors for us. In August, we signed a memorandum of understanding with Plumbers Business Forum. This is a great group of mainly Black-owned businesses, about 150 Black-owned businesses, plumbing businesses, and we're working extremely well with them. And I think this is going to be a very worthwhile relationship. We also started with discussions with BACAWU, which is the Building, Construction and Allied Workers Union. Although there's not much union activity in the plumbing industry per se, but broadly in the construction industry there is. We also had another insurance forum meeting, and this one was really talking about the massive price increases which we started to see from sort of July, August, especially on metals. I know this one doesn't sound like it's that important, but it really actually is quite a milestone. We did the female plumber photo shoot, and as many of you may know, that there's not a lot of positive imagery of women in the plumbing industry, and we aim to correct that, and I think we've made a good start there. And then our new treasurer, Celeste Leroux, has joined IOPSA on the board, and she's already adding massive value. She's won so many awards, and I see just recently she's also been elected to the CIDB board. So Celeste is adding a lot of value to us at the moment. September, we started developing a maternity policy for our industry. This is mainly aimed at apprentices and what happens to young female apprentices that fall pregnant during their apprenticeship. That's still ongoing. It's quite a tricky one. We also participated in the Skills Partnership Forum with the Department of Higher Education. I don't know whether it was a lot of effort and a lot of hours involved in this thing, and I hope something positive comes out of it. We'll just have to wait and see. Then we were contacted by the Mopani District Municipality, very similar to Waterberg. They have real challenges in implementing their bylaws, and they asked us for some assistance. We've asked them just to put that on hold until we've concluded things with Waterberg, because just from a capacity point of view, we're struggling from a capacity point of view. We had a session with Jaswick, and then we started building control officer training mainly in the Western Cape, but it's spread to other regions, and that is going extremely, extremely well. And it's been really well received by the building control officers. We then participated in the water saving project with an organization called Sanitation and SABS, and that was on the alignment of tap and shower head standards. You might know that our current standards for taps and shower heads require a minimum flow rate, but they don't have a requirement for a maximum flow rate. So there's some challenges there that we're assisting on. And then we had an excellent training forum session, and that's for all the people in the industry that provide training on plumbing. We have a forum where they can raise all the issues and we can discuss the goings on in the industry. October, we once again moved to level 1 lockdown. The NADAB regulations were published. They're really great. The only problem is that no artisans were represented on that body. So we've put in our submissions, and we believe that they have recognized that it's correct that artisan bodies must be represented on this organization. We were then also contacted by Mogale City, and I haven't put it on there, but on the same day by Hemfuleni, which both, again, are having some serious difficulties with their water bylaws and need our assistance. We had a very big session with Proudly South Africa, looking at ways that we can improve local purchases and assist our local manufacturers in South Africa, especially in the plumbing industry, to continue to grow. And then, although this only relates to the Western Cape, but we received observer status at the BIBC, the Building Industry Bargaining Council. So we don't have a vote or anything yet, but at least we have a seat there where we can observe what's going on. And we hope to convert that into full membership so that we can start really representing the plumbers in the Western Cape at the Bargaining Council. And that brings us almost up to date. In November, we participated in World Toilet Day events. As I said, Mfuleni, I mentioned it before. West Rand District Municipality also contacted us wanting assistance. We've had some very good interactions with the Department of Public Works. They've also got a number of challenges in terms of material specifications and making sure that those that do work for the Department of Public Works are actually properly qualified plumbers. And they're also very interested in professionalizing those who are in their direct employ with Department of Public Works. As I said, we put in our final application with the Department of Labor to be recognized as an employer body. And we participated in the Building Control Forum. This is a forum for all building control officers, building inspectors throughout the country. And I think that's also going to go a long way in resolving a lot of the issues that we see on the ground. And then we've been working, and we're currently working on a project to assist the contract plumbers, people that are working on these big construction projects and contracts. And there's a lot of work already going into that space, and I'm hoping that early in 2022 that we'll be able to launch some education things for those of you who are involved in tendering and doing big construction projects. Looking at our participation within the community, just the other night we had the Champions for Charity, or PRV had the Champions for Charity event, boxing event. It was a great evening, and just over 50,000 Rand has been raised for charity, which is awesome. We've done, as I said earlier, the donation of foods to the KZN riots. We did a community cleanup in Edenvale. We participated together with Dutton and Checker Training in upgrading a school in Krugersdorp. And then together with WhatsApp, Blue Lever, and Sticky Situations, we've done a lot of work for some community housing in Hillbrow. That's quite a challenge. You won't believe what's going on there. It's something else. But anyway, we've participated there twice. And then KZN, together with Build It, did the 67 toilets for Mandela Day. This was an amazing project. These guys had to contend with riots, lockdowns, all sorts of issues, COVID, you name it. These guys had to contend with it. And a big shout out to the IOPSA KZN team for managing to get this done eventually. And a massive shout out to Build It, who were the sponsors of all the materials. But we were able to repair and replace 67 toilets for the needy in the KZN region, which was absolutely fantastic. And then, as we do always, we've given quite a lot of assistance and donations to a number of colleges and schools around the country. So let me have a quick sip here so that I can carry on talking. So looking ahead to 2022, I don't know what to expect. The one thing that I think we can take as a definite is that things are going to be unpredictable and uncertain. If we look back at this time last year, if I had predicted all the things that happened to South Africa in this year, you would have said I was crazy. So I find it really difficult to predict what we're going to experience in 2022. I think we just got to be ready for whatever comes at us. The new COVID variant, when I actually put the slide together, it had just emerged. We didn't know much about it. But now we start to see that it's spreading very fast, but it doesn't seem to be hospitalizing as many people, and it doesn't seem to be as aggressive as some of the other variants. But who knows, we might even see another variant next year. I don't know. I have no idea. The coalition municipalities we don't know what's going to happen there. They're either going to work well or it's going to be a disaster. We'll just have to wait and see. As far as price increases are concerned, I'm expecting serious, big price increases in 2022. If one has a look at what's happening with all the various metal, copper, steel prices, as well as the oil prices and the rand-dollar exchange rate, those are going to create some real big increases on virtually every type of product that a plumber uses. And we add that to the issues that we're seeing with the global supply chains. I really am expecting some very serious price increases coming this year. So I think be ready for that. But I think this year for plumbers, this coming year for plumbers, is going to offer some big opportunities. Unfortunately, when there's a water crisis and when there's an electricity crisis, that's when plumbers come into play in a big way. And the green economy, I believe, is going to really get rolling in this coming year. Water reuse, water harvesting, solar, smart technology, water saving, all these kinds of things. And I think I've sort of been saying this for quite some time, but the more our infrastructure deteriorates and the more things go wrong, the more we need plumbers to be able to resolve these things. As many of you may know, there is a Competition Commission inquiry on the go with the insurance sector, and we wait to see what happens with that sometime in 2022. It's either going to bring some challenges or it's going to bring opportunities for plumbers. So we'll keep an eye on that and we'll see what happens. But one thing's for sure, I think something's going to change there. What it is or how it will work, we don't know, but it's definitely something we should be keeping our eye on. Then, as I mentioned, government infrastructure. This is either a threat or an opportunity. So either our infrastructure continues to deteriorate, or government really starts to invest into our infrastructure and repairing and replacing and upgrading and that sort of thing, which then would create huge opportunities for plumbers, massive amounts of work for plumbers to be able to do work for these municipalities. So let's see how that goes. Then our regulatory environment, the legal framework that within which plumbers work, is very much up in the air and has been for some time. We're anticipating so the new energy saving regulation SANS 10400 XA has just been published. So that's going to come into effect. That's going to change things up. SANS 10254 should reach some sort of resolution. And then we're expecting other publications to come through that on the building regulation side that might affect us. So we just got to keep an eye on the regulatory environment and see what's going to happen there. Bottom line, I'm not trying to be negative. In fact, I do believe that 2022 can be a really positive year for plumbers. If we're able to adapt and if we're able to be flexible and we can react quickly to change, I think it could be a really good year because more and more plumbers are going to be needed as these issues of municipal infrastructure and ESCOM issues and rainwater issues, as they continue, people are really going to need plumbers to come up with solutions for them. Just a reminder, and we've been talking about this a lot. If as a country, if we're going to resurrect our economy, and if we're going to improve things and find work for people in South Africa and grow our economy again, which is in all our interests, we've got to start looking at buying local. I know it can be challenging. I know sometimes it's a little bit more expensive, but wherever you can, not just your material that you use for the work, but think about your PPE, think about your corporate clothing, your signage, your stationery, your, tea and coffee and milk and sugar and all that type of thing. Just try and keep this front in your mind, especially coming into the festive season. People are going to be buying gifts and that sort of thing. Let's try and buy South African products. We've got to try and do something to kickstart this economy, all of us, every single citizen of South Africa. And this is the one way that we can all make a difference. So please, I implore all of you just to think about this over the festive season. So that's it, guys. Thank you for your support during 2021. We really appreciate it. Membership numbers are looking really good again, not quite as good as last year, which is an all-time record membership growth, but still very positive. And we thank you, and we thank everybody that continues to support us and continues to work with IOPSA. It means a lot. If you're traveling, please travel safely. Rest well, please be safe, consider COVID and consider your family's health and well-being. We're looking forward to a great 2022. IOPSA's offices will close on the 15th of December. We are currently, most of us, working from home, although there is a skeleton staff at the office. That's due to the massive COVID numbers in Gauteng. But we will reopen properly on the 3rd of January. If you do need us, Steve, Kurt, and myself will be available on our cell phones just until Christmas Eve, and then we'll have a couple of days off until the 3rd of January. But if you need us, we are available on our cell phones. So please, if there's a crisis, get hold of us. We're there for you.
Again, just from my side, from the Business 101, just to thank everybody for their attendance this year, to Byron and to your team. I think just great the way that we've been able to put this together through a tough year. But I think I was sitting here going through all of the things that we've done, and old age kicking in. But I mean, one can see how active IOPSA is as a team, and Brendan's just brought it all to the fore in terms of, although a very difficult year, that even within that sort of parameter that we've been able to achieve so much. And again, it's just, being really passionate about our industry and making a difference. And, again, just to thank everybody for the attendance, and to Brendan for just keeping us up to date so that we all know where, what, and how active IOPS has been. So from my side, thank you.